Okay, my name is Josephine. I'm a social work student from KUST level 300. In this video, we are going to talk about Article 12 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. And then this declaration, let me state it for you. It said Article 12 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights talks about privacy and family life. It states that no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference of his privacy, family, home, or protection of the law against such interference or attacks. So this article literally looks at our privacy, our home life, our family life, and then our reputation. So as a citizen or anybody, so far as you are a human being, you have the right of privacy, you have the right of your reputation being intact, and then you have the right to choose a family life. So in this article, we are going to look at how is this realistic in our context. So when I talk about in our context, I mean Africans, especially Ghanaians. I'm a Ghanaian, so, and I'm an Ashanti, so there are a lot of things you may hear that you may not understand, but I hope you get most of it. So looking at it, this article is talking about privacy, but how much privacy does we have in our context? For instance, this Yvonne Nelson case that came about, that Sarkodie name just popped up in the book, and this guy's reputation has been tarnished severely, and people are talking about it. It's no good. It has tarnished his marital issue. It has brought a lot of issues surrounding on social media and stuff. All these things are against human rights, and the person like Sarkodie has the right of his reputation not being attacked. But look at it, it has been attacked, and it's like there's nothing you can do, because in our context that we find ourselves, it's there. When the declaration was being made, it was made by United States, and these nations did not involve much of Africans, and because of that, they do not really understand the African context and how we do our things. Because in Africa, one thing you can see is that our cultural beliefs and moral values are totally different from that of the Western countries. For instance, in Africa, we don't prioritize nuclear family as other countries does. We look at the extended family, so you can give birth, even though you and your husband gave birth to a child, your grandmother, your auntie, your uncle, a cousin can come and train your child even in your presence, punish the child in your presence. All these are privacy interferences, because it's your children, it's your home. When you look at the LGBTQ case, look at it. People has the right to a family life. So I can choose to marry my fellow women. I can choose to marry a man can choose to marry his fellow man. But in a moral context, as a Ghanaian, as an African, it's not really accepted, and because of that, we don't want to pass this into our laws. But it's human rights. Human rights is something you cannot take from somebody. Let's take note of that. You can't take it from the person, even if the person commits crime. You can't take it from the person. It can be restricted in the case where somebody has committed crime, that is the person being put in prison or something. But even that one, those rights cannot be taken away. So a person taken into prison has the privacy rights, because one, he has a place like a washroom that he or she can go and ease him or herself. It's a privacy. That right cannot be taken from anybody. So far as you're a human being, you have that right. So look at Ghana, where your neighbor can come and knock your door and you request for salt, request for this, request for that. All these things are privacy interference. We look at the buildings in Ghana. Most African countries, you can have a 10 rooms house and only one washroom or bathhouse that the whole people, the tenants in that house, is using. All this talks about, look at our privacy, look at reputation. Many schools that in Ghana are being looked down on because of where they are located. All these things are reputation, because a school like Banchasi Senior High School, a student, if I go to, I'm not even proud to talk about it, because the school reputation is not that much high in the society, and it's something that happens in our context, and there's not much things we can do, because it is like part of us, it's our culture. There are some things we don't really value, there are some things we place much value on, but because we were not much considered when these articles were being put in place, it is affecting us in a way. Right now, when the US vice president came to Ghana, his way of talking made us know that if you don't accept the LGBTQ case, then our future help from them can be retarded. And all these things are not really much way. But when you look at the rights of human beings, it's people's rights. People have the right to choose for the kind of family life they want. A child in Ghana, if you are in SHS, whether you are 30 years, 40 years, and you get pregnant, your parents can choose whether the man should marry you or not, even without your consent or whatever. Sometimes the children do not even want, but so far as you've gotten pregnant, the family deem it as that person must marry you. All these things are against our privacy, family life rights, and our reputation. All these things. Sanitation in schools, especially the rural areas where they don't have sanitation areas, they can just dump anything anywhere. They can use the bush as lavatory, and sometimes when they are there, somebody also in a hurry can just bash on them. All these things is against our privacy rights. So I want you to comment what you also think about these rights. Is it really realistic in Ghana? Is it materializing in Ghana? Is it affecting us in any way that you think you can add, subtract, or remove from this article? This article says that nobody should be attacked, whether reputation, whether privacy, whether family life, whether in his home, at workplace. So far as privacy is concerned and reputation is concerned, this is an individual right. Some countries even have laws, like Zimbabwe for instance, that they can really check and see what their citizens are doing on their social media platforms. So what do you also have to say? Thank you.